One doctor described it as throwing her out of a 3-story building onto concrete.
This doctor was describing the severe abuse suffered by Mary Beth Phillips' 6-month-old baby back in 1983. As a first-time mom, she was nervous about leaving her baby for a few hours with anyone.
I had gone to graduate school for a class, and I'd left during the care of this neighbor's nanny, and I came back from class to find her in a coma and having seizures and paralyzed on her right side and totally blind and permanently blinded.
Nearly 2 years later, the nanny was convicted of felony child abuse and sentenced to 5 years probation. However, the system didn't go far enough. The nanny soon landed a job with another family in Los Angeles.
It was at the moment when I heard that this person was going to be able to be a nanny and that parents weren't going to know that they had hired a convicted felon and a convicted child abuser, that I thought there has got to be a better way for parents.
With the help of 2 other mothers, Mary Beth has found one. The problem lies in regulation. Currently, all daycare facilities and family care programs are licensed by the state. However, child care providers who work in the children's home or who work for only one family are exempt. This means babysitters and nannies are free to watch children with no regulation. Mary Beth's team worked on a system that would provide background checks on these child care providers.
I get to do this. Elizabeth graduated from Stanford with honors. She received her PhD from the University of Arizona, Tucson in philosophy. I know. She has been a keynote speaker around the country, focusing us all on the importance of children's rights, the prevention of child maltreatment, disability rights, and most recently, on the critical nature of interconnection. Liz, I pass the torch and the cape to you. It's time to share your story with my superheroes, the R&Rs and the APs of California. Thank you.
The story of how TrustLine came to be. It's as much my story as it is my mother's. And in our own way and time, my mother and I have each had to gather together the often fragile, broken, and knotted strands of our lives and thread them through, hand over hand, weaving a narrative that could nurture hope and change in ourselves and our community. Today, I understand that my story does not need to begin with what happened to me. And neither does the story of TrustLine. The makings of TrustLine did not begin with my birth, with my mother's story, or her mother's story, or her mother's story. The story of TrustLine is a story greater than the story of one event, one mother's vision, one life, one family. It has become part of the story of every legislator we met, every R&R agency we collaborated with, that's many of you out here, every parent who was touched by our message or used TrustLine's resources, every child whose safety TrustLine has protected and assured. By showing up day after day to advocate for our children, we work together to realize a world in which children will no longer be kept in shadows of a problem too complicated to solve, part of a knot too twisted to untie, and therefore left alone. And when, one day, we realize that none of us are alone, that we all play an integral part in sustaining each other in this interdependent world, we will understand that there is no knot too difficult to untie, that we do not belong to different threads.